the bench and make an impact in a game is also a skill to learn.
Possibly so. I think experts who I know, who know about elite youth development of athletes, say that you need to extend and then consolidate with young people in all sorts of sports, and maybe that's
I told you that in confidence.
That's what Jack Welsby is probably going through here. You know, you can play too many games and there can be too great an expectation on a young player because he won the grand final last year. So I don't think not playing on the pitch for every minute of every match, John, will necessarily over the next 10 to 15 years be detrimental to his career.
And we know he's a level-headed fellow, and we know he's an intelligent guy, but how does he react to that? Because he'd be massively disappointed, surely.
We'll find out in time, won't they? But you can play too many games, can't you, and be on the field for too long. So it's his opportunity to show us what he can do if he comes on.
Well, their last win, as we said, was in 2008, St Helens in the Challenge Cup final. The only man surviving is James Roby, who leads the side out today in this quarter-final, followed closely behind him by the returning Tommy Makinson. The old warrior Roby once more leads his Saints side out. They face the Huddersfield Giants. It's the second of our Betfred 2021 Challenge Cup quarterfinals. Let's go to our commentary team. Terry O'Connor, Barry McDermott, and good evening, Stuart Pike.
Hello, Brian. Yes, it was August the 30th, 2008, when St Helens last tasted Challenge Cup success, beating Hull FC. It has been a while, but what about this? April the 25th, 1953, when Huddersfield last won the Cup, beating Saints in front of 90,000 at Wembley. Here they are tonight, 80 minutes from a semi-final. If you are just joining us, Warrington are already there after a 16-6 victory over the Catalan Dragons earlier. James Gavitt has had to drop out for Huddersfield for family reasons, and a rare start for Joe Batchelor for St Helens. And of course, before the start of the match, 13 seconds, the players will show their support and solidarity against racism in the sport and in the world as a whole. So we're ready to go. James Child is the referee. Ben Thaler will be our video referee tonight. Anyone for an upset?
Of course, Stuart. In any game, in any cup competition, it's about the result. It's about getting the W at the end of this game and getting in the hat. If Huddersfield are going to give themselves a chance, they've got to scrap and they've got to compete for everything. Every time they have the ball, every time it's their turn to defend, they've got to put absolutely everything into it, because when Helens are on the front foot, they're in the mood, my word, they can pile on the points.
Well, we shall see. A cup upset, or will the favourites take another step towards another Wembley appearance? Tommy Makinson back in the side after missing 2 games with a foot injury. Gets us underway. Saints in their traditional white with the red V. Huddersfield in their change strip tonight. But that victory for the Giants against Leeds last weekend in the Super League has lifted spirits. And how, said Ian Watson, their coach, this week. Let's see what they can do against Saints. Cunningham will be at dummy half. Michael Lawrence, the captain, who was drafted in late today because of the absence of Gavitt. And the Giants need a good start. That's what Ian Watson was saying. We've got to start well. We've got to be perfect with ball in hand. No errors. And be disciplined. Caesar gets the kick away. Taken by Regan Grace. Decent first set.
Well, he just wants week-on-week improvements. Ian Watson, the coach of Huddersfield. And, you know, you look at this fixture for Huddersfield, it's probably the toughest one that he could have had. But imagine the confidence that they would get for the remaining Super League season, along with going forward in the Challenge Cup draw. It's a big task for them, because everyone knows Saints, and since Super League came in and before, Ian Watson knows that Saints can raise their game, play in big games, the tempo, they can change it at will, they can hit you with 3 tries really quickly. You've got to be switched on for the full 80 against James Roby and the rest of the side.
Well, it was brutal, wasn't it? It was fierce, the Super League clash between the two sides a couple of weeks ago. Saints eventually winning by 18 points to 10. Just inside the Huddersfield half on the last, and there's the high hanging kick from Theo Farge, and taken well by Gaskell under pressure, The chase was good and strong from Nagama and from Coote.
I agree with a lot of the points that the lads in the studio made before the game about, yes, we're right to focus on Aidan Sezer. His contribution last week against Leeds Rhinos, if Sezer doesn't play, they don't win that game. Obviously, he scored tries, he turned up, kicked the ball well, dropped a goal, and was actually on hand to feed the ball back inside to the other player who needs to play well. Gaskell, he needs to be involved, he needs to be present in attack, and he will be the indicator for St Helens to focus their defence on.
Well, there's the kick from Gaskell, and taken by Coote. Decent field position this for St Helens. Lachlan Coote, what a 3 years he's had at the club. The big question, will he stay another year? Those questions will be answered in due course. Makinson, disappointed to miss a couple of games with that foot injury. But Christian Wolff, as he said before, taking no chances with Morgan Knowles, and he won't take any chances with his star men, that's for sure.
It looks like he's struggling there, Tommy Makinson. He didn't look good the way he carried the ball back on his kick return. Normally gives an awful lot of impact. He's shaking the head to the physio, and you could just see by the way he was carrying the ball, and the movement wasn't great from him.
Lomax inside for Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook on the left. Now Coote. That's a good kick through. Grace putting the pressure on, and Gaskell just getting to the ball before Regan Grace was about to grasp it. And Tommy Makinson has lasted 3 minutes of his comeback game. Is that a recurrence of his foot injury? Jack Wellesby dropped to the bench, is back for Saints, but they've lost crucially Tommy Makinson.
100% that's his foot injury. You could tell the way he carried the ball. He looked laboured, didn't he? And you can see the anguish on his face.
The referee's not happy with St Helens, keen and eager to get up and pressure their opposition in defence. You can just see a foot forward, a stagger from the old stager, James Roby. Well over 500 games. There's the other end of the scale. Nice shiner he's got into the game, Jack Wellesby.
Picked that up against Lee last week.
Unless he's wearing some kind of crazy makeup.
Cunningham at dummy half, and here is Lawrence. Losing Tommy Makinson after 3 minutes. Looks like Wellesby has slotted back into the centre, and Kevin Nagama has gone back onto the right wing. St Helens forced into some changes. And here come the Giants now with Kenny Edwards. Edwards, that's a cracking tackle by Theo Farge. Defensively, got to be one of the best halves in Super League. Cogger gets the ball away. Comes for Ricky Lutele. What a big player he will be for Huddersfield for the remainder of the season. Sezer, that's a good kick from Sezer. The chase there from Lawrence. And what a start for the Huddersfield Giants. St Helens were absolutely caught cold. Lawrence goes over for the try. Sezer it was, with a clever kick, and Michael Lawrence, the captain, gets the try.
Well, a bit of disruption early on for Saints, but you can put that down to clever play from Sezer. Look at that. When he kicks this ball, he's just looking to place the ball gently in the path of Michael Lawrence. They shifted the ball from right to left really well. Offload, come back, attacking over to the right-hand side of the post, and a great start for them.
Tez, I heard you in the previous game talk about the discipline of staying onside. When a kick goes through, and you could see Michael Lawrence, obviously, he started his career a lot further out, as far out as he can get on the wing, gradually learned his trade and learned the game enough to get a big number on his back. But the patience and discipline he had just to stay onside, and then the composure to pick that ball up and score the try. What a start for the Giants.
Yeah, it all came off the penalty. Saints offside. Sezer with the kick to make the try. Sezer with the goal to make it 6-0 to the Huddersfield Giants. The perfect start for Ian Watson and his men.
Just look at how he staggers his run. He's shuffling. He knows that the kick is coming. He needs to stay behind. There's just a little judder in his run. Then he accelerates. Then he collects the ball.
Well, maybe that's where Ian Watson has identified that Saints are vulnerable. defensively on their own line, the stats will tell you that they are very, very difficult to get past. 52 points they conceded, that's all, in 6 games, including 18 in that Challenge Cup 4th round victory over Leeds.
And if you look at it in the league, Stuart, it's just less than 7 points they concede. So, yes, they focus on defence. And we talk about size, don't we, and power. Big is only beautiful when it's got energy and it's smart and it's functioning at its full capacity. What Huddersfield have got is Yates and Lawrence, who are lightweight, mobile, agile.
And there is Yates, Ian Watson's go-to man, isn't he? 6 again, set restart. The Saints at the moment, their indiscipline is costing them. They gave away the penalty, they've given away a set restart. And here is Joe Greenwood. Had 4 years with Saints and he looks a tad worried, the coach Christian Wolf.
I don't think he'd be panicking too much. I don't think he'd be worried too much. It might just be the little tonic that his side need just to get that focus on. When you're the top of the league, there's a temptation to go into games like that, like this, like it's a formality, but the cup is different.
Well, Huddersfield fired up Cunningham, who's been really inspirational. Caesar, that's a great ball for Lutella. He's got support from McIntosh. Across come the Saints defenders, and Thompson brings him down. Last tackle. Will it be the boots of Aidan Caesar? It is. This time the arrow kick, and Percival can't take it, and it may well have gone down from Josh Jones.
Oh, wow. He's made an early call on that, hasn't it?
I'm saying it, not then. I thought the ball had gone backwards. The referee was in a decent position, though. See McQueen, he goes up, he tries to get the ball back to Jones. And he's there.
Yeah, exactly, Tez. I'd take his judgment. He's right on the spot. He's blown his whistle and we're on with the game. Good call.
Well, that just shows how dangerous Huddersfield are with the boot of Aidan Caesar. There's a lot of discussion about his future, his contract coming to an end this year. But Caesar has been behind all that Huddersfield have done well. The Saints, we know, have been rocked by the try. They've also been rocked by the loss of Tommy Makinson, who just come back into the side after a foot injury. And Jenna has news.
Yeah, Stuart, you boys were right up there. It is that same foot that he's having trouble with. He's missed the last 2 games. It's unlikely he'll be back tonight, but they are still assessing him.
Well, that would be a blow. He nearly played last week against the Leeds Centurions, and Saints thought they'd give him another week.
I think he's done for the night. You never see a Tommy Makinson go into a tackle when he's got to run up and get dominated like that in defence. He couldn't put any weight through it.
He cuts a disappointed figure, doesn't he? Here is Joe Greenwood. And Cogger. And there's the early kick downfield from Caesar again, and it's pretty clear here what Huddersfield are trying to do, to play it quickly, to pin Saints back. And there's a lot of Saints forwards here who are walking very, very slowly back to the line.
But also control the game and make Saints feel uncomfortable. According to Ian Proctor, our researcher guru, the man that we trust above everything else, this is the first time Saints have been behind. It's the first time they've been in arrears, so they are in unfamiliar territory. This season, should I say. Not ever.
We've not really seen that, have we? With ball in hand.
But that again, they're good signs. Yates on Percival. Percival, his kick returns, along with Tommy Makinson, are so impressive and so good, and get Saints on the front foot.
Defensively, very, very strong so far, Huddersfield. Lopez looking for a way through, just shy of halfway. Here is Roby. Alex Walmsley, not seen too much of him in this opening 10 or 11 minutes. It's already the last one. And there is the kick from Lachlan Coote. Should be a good take, and is from Lee Gaskell, right on his own try line. But Saints now will try and force the error. Huddersfield leads 6-0, and deservedly so.
Well, Lee Gaskell just had his foot in the air. He was trying to plant it down before he catches that ball. so he would have tapped the ball on the 20 and he would have had 7 tackles in the set. Unfortunately, he couldn't do that, and it's a good period here in this set now for Saints to try and build some pressure, lock up the man who's carrying the ball, and really get off the line with some aggression.
Yeah, talk about aggression. There's Ricky Lutele. McGilvray's stop. Cunningham now will have to push Welsby out of the way. And there is the kick early doors again. Has to turn Lachlan Coote. Coote with the ball. Saints trailing by 6 points to 0. Let's go back to pitch side. Jenna has some more news.
It's not really news, it's just trivia. You mentioned the score there. The Giants lead 6-0. Michael Lawrence scored. This is his first try since September 2019, and he scored that in defeat at St Helens. So there you go.
That's right. On appearance 303 for Michael Lawrence. What a servant he's been. 2007 he made his debut for the Giants. Can they make a big step towards going back to Wembley? At the moment, they're controlling things against the Saints, the Super League leaders. Lomax again looking to step round. And here's the tackle from Josh Jones, former teammate. Coote again will go high towards Gaskell. The chase from Percival. He will leap for the ball. He will get the ball. Tries to find Theo Farge. Well, of course, Saints scored a try in identical fashion in the league game a couple of weeks ago.
Exactly. Jack Welsby got up and snatched it out of the hands of Lee Gaskell. On that occasion, Huddersfield good enough to get the ball back somehow. That occasion, it's Percival. And I know that Farge fumbles the pass, but Caesar is there in attendance, making it difficult.
The Saints missing James Bentley, Morgan Knowles still. Matty Lees is a long-term absentee. Huddersfield just starting to get all their players back after their disappointing start to the season. Is it going to be a case of watchers go for the Giants? 14 minutes gone in the Challenge Cup tie. Last one. Ball goes back to Caesar under pressure from Bachelor and Roby, but still manages to get a good kick away to Regan Grace, who just signed up for another year, at least another year with Saints. A new contract this week to take him through to the end of 2022.
I know you said he just manages to get that kick away, Caesar, but he puts it 40 metres downfield. He finds the grass, and the commitment to the chase from his teammates means that there is control on that kick return.
Nagama. Probably as good a field position that Saints have had in the entire game. That's Grace with the pass from Lomax. 6-0, Huddersfield leading. Quarterfinals of the Challenge Cup. Now Lomax. Bachelor with the run, getting a rare start. Joe Bachelor for Saints because of the injuries tonight. He'll be keen to impress. Farge digs a little kick through, well taken on the bounce there again by Lee Gaskell. And to be fair to Gaskell, he's dealt with everything that Saints have thrown at him so far tonight.
Well, he's absolutely solid, isn't he? I think he's integral to what Huddersfield do well. A lot of talk about Aidan Caesar, and rightly so, and what he brings aside. Well, I think what he does, he brings out the best in Lee Gaskell. Along with Coggett, they've got 3 players there who can really break down opposition, no matter how good defensively you are. They've got intelligent players around the ball.
Right, we've summarised Huddersfield, and they've been outstanding in this first 15 minutes. But they've now got to get excited for when the momentum swings. Saints get the tails up, they have some field position and possession, because that's the winning and losing of these big games. Saints have got big players who've played in more big games, so they'll have to match that intensity.
With a really good spiralling kick from Caesar, but Saints are just edging closer and closer, aren't they, with where they're starting their sets, and this one inside the Huddersfield half of the field.
Stuart, they look at that scoreboard, Saints players, as they're running towards the scoreboard end. They're a patient side. You look at the man who's behind the play of the ball, in James Roby. He's like so influential to what they do well on the back of strong runs and strong carries. They've been in position like this when they've been behind on the scoreboard early on in the game, but can teams keep mixing it with them for the full 80?
Roby and Farge and Joel Thompson. And the first time that Saints have had the ball inside the Huddersfield 20 in this match. Lomax Great tackle from Yates. Now it is Farge. Farge again trying to put the little kick through. It comes to Grace. Grace will try and stretch over.
He's got it,
managed to get the ball down. Well, the referee, Dave Child here, is going to send it upstairs. And he says that he has got the ball down. Robert Hicks will have another look, but have Saints struck back.
Well, when he puts that kick through, I think there's probably more Huddersfield players than there is St Helens players, but the accuracy of the kick, they're all onside at this point. And the Huddersfield Giants players lose that ball, turn the backs. It's a good pick-up, and I'm sure he gets this ball down. Video referee Ben Thaler is having a look at this angle. He catches it, remarkable pick-up. He sees the try line, 2 hands on the ball. Does he get it down? There you go, no problemo. And that's what champion sides do. They recover, they recoup, and they reply.
That was superb ring play, wasn't it, from Regan Grace, his 8th try of the season, and no wonder Saints were keen to sign up the Welsh Wizard for another season.
Good delivery from acting half. We'll probably talk about James Roby a dozen times, because the accuracy of that pass means that Theo Farge doesn't necessarily need to focus on that ball for too long. He can look at the landscape in front of him. The landscape is such that he can thread the ball through. A chase, a bounce of a ball, and when you've got a winger with the quality of Regan Grace, you know that that chance is going to be converted.
Well, we said it was the first time with ball in hand that Saints have been that close to the Huddersfield line, and they come up with a try. Is it going to be a level game? Lachlan Coote. Well, no, it isn't. Doesn't miss too many. Lachlan Coote will be disappointed with that. Huddersfield stay ahead by 6 points to 4. But Saints are bang back in business.
Well, Christian Wolf's men are ultra competitive. It took a lucky ricochet off Josh Jones and went into the hands of Regan Grace, but the pick-up from him was outstanding. We said in the first game when we were talking about Catalan's winger Tom Davies, how good he was at the back, some of the balls that he was taking near the ground. Well, Regan Grace does it at the right end of the field to get back on the, or to get Saints back into the game. Scored 4 points, and now Ian Watson and his side know that Saints are on form. They're going to be here and they're going to be pressing really hard for the win.
There's still a lot of rugby league to come on Sky Sports. Tomorrow morning, the West Tigers, Michael Maguire, of course, against the Gold Coast Titans, former Saints boss Justin Holbrook. 8:25 on Sky Sports Arena and on Main Event. And then on Monday, the normal slot at 8:45, Arena and on Sky Sports Mix. Highlights of the Women's Challenge Cup tie between York and Wigan. And Brian Carney's next guest on the coaching manual, Lee John Duffy. That's Wednesday at 8:30 on Sky Sports Arena. 19 minutes on the clock. 6 points to 4 to Huddersfield. Just signs here that Saints are beginning to find their feet.
Well, just building, everyone would expect the Saints side to do that, and Jermaine McGilvray and his side know that they've got to just keep on pushing up and supporting the man who's carrying the ball, getting through the work, knocking off those sets of 6, playing the ball at the right area. Adam O'Brien onto the field now. He's got some decent skills from dummy half. Works really well with his forwards, bringing him on to the ball.
There he is. He just adds a little bit of spark, doesn't he, to the Huddersfield attack. Jones with the offload to Cogger. Now McGilvray. Good play this from Huddersfield. And defensively strong from Lachlan Coote and Johnny Lomax, as it had to be. Here's Cogger again, who's been involved a lot so far for the Giants. Caesar with a long pass out there for Darnell McIntosh, but he couldn't really get any momentum, forward momentum going. Caesar, last one, little chip over the top into no man's land. That's a good kick, and it's a really good take as well. Well read, and it had to be by Mark Percival for Saints.
It was a good kick for Huddersfield and the chasers of Huddersfield. If that ball bounced into their hands, it didn't. It bounced into Saints' hands, and then you only won this tackle off a long-range break or try, and then they compound the issue. Is it Cogger? A metre or two in front, and the referee blows his whistle. And that I suppose that kick, the chances of that kick bouncing up into the hands of a Huddersfield player is a good 50-50 balance. It's a good 50-50 call. Along the floor, building pressure like they did in the first 10 or 15 minutes, might have been a bit of a reset button for his side, Caesar.
A penalty apiece so far, both for offside. Here is Joel Thompson. Played nearly 250 games in the NRL, 2-year contract with the Saints. Now Walmsley gets past the tackle of O'Brien, still going. The offload still bouncing around, and Saints managing to keep hold of it. Lomax leaping onto the loose ball. Here is Batchelor. He's done a lot in defence so far.
Started well, hasn't he? 21 tackles he's made.
Already. A tackle a minute on average, Joe Batchelor. Farge. Well, that came off the head of Josh Jones. Play on. Literally, Farge onto the head of Jones. Saints will get another shot. And it is Farge. Again, the kick goes through. Is there too much on that? And there is. And that will be a tap on the 20 in a 7-tackle set for the Huddersfield Giants.
Well, the shake of the head from Theo Farge, and when he kicked that ball, I thought there was way too much on it, but Percival, well, there wasn't much in it. The ball just went dead before he could get there.
Huddersfield Giants, 2006, they played Saints at Twickenham in the Challenge Cup final. James Roby played in that final, off the bench.
See, that's the calmness that you get from Adam O'Brien, who's on the number 9. He's pointing at his players, he's directing them at where Theo Farge is.
Here he is going from dummy half. Just adds that zip, doesn't he, to the Giants' attack, O'Brien. Here is Cogger now. And Gaskell coming into the line. Always dangerous when you see Gaskell coming from full-back into the line. Huddersfield leading 6-4 against St Helens here at Headingley. It's Cogger this time who gets a good kick away. That is a good kick. Up goes Nagama. Oh, what a really good take under supreme pressure by Kevin Nagama.
That's a better end to the set from Huddersfield, that. Although the kick was high, they competed for it, and it was a pressure kick. There's a good chance that Huddersfield will get a reward from that. Irrelevant of that, they start the set defensively on their own terms.
Thoroughly enjoyable 24 minutes, and Percival is nearly through, half tackled, but it was that man O'Brien with the tap on the ankle which just saved Huddersfield there. Farge takes it over halfway. Saints have made good yardage. Coop with the kick over the top. Gaskell as they go from one end to the other, and that was a really good set from Saints. And look where the Giants are starting theirs, close to their own line.
Well, that's an outstanding kick from Lachlan Coop. Kicked it into the pocket. Really strong chase as well, trying to restrict the yardage here from Huddersfield.
Lutele, third appearance for the Giants. Grand final winner in the NRL with Cronulla 5 years ago, but now after being released by Toronto, has found a home at the Huddersfield Giants. McGilvray plays the ball quickly. Josh Jones, another former Saint. Gaskell, Josh Jones, Joe Greenwood, all making their names at St Helens in the distant pass. Caesar does well on the best of passes from Cogger, but he did get the kick away. Coop now finds Grace. Grace will look to strike from distance. Huddersfield leading, approaching 25 minutes by 6 points to 4.
And they played really well, haven't they? Huddersfield Saints took a few jabs, and then all of a sudden they've hit them. They've hit Huddersfield themselves. Not really flustered at all. And Jack Wellesby now just trying to take Saints up to the right area of the field.
Just look at the work James Roby does. I've been watching him for the last couple of minutes. Whether he passes from the floor, he picks up, takes a step or two, he makes space for for the players around him. Here he is on the ball.
He wasn't expecting the ball. He was asking the referee for another step there.
516 career games, something like that.
Yep, 474th for Saints.
Wow. Just keeps going and going and going, and every year they get him in, they replace the batteries, put 4 new AA batteries in, and he's away.
Well, a lot of speculation that he's going to go round again next year.
Why not?
And why wouldn't he?
Why not?
Absolutely. He's having a cracking season, and he's as good as ever, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. He's a quality player. What is also, he's quality in the week, leading up to big games, quality in the build-up to games.
And there he is.
Started off his career, he was super sub, wasn't he, to Kieran Cunningham?
And he's now a superstar in his own right. Caesar again having to kick from inside his own half. Taken well by Lachlan Coote for St Helens.
But the most important thing for Huddersfield is that they are getting to the kicks. Whether they're kicking in their own half or not, they're not making mistakes close to the line.
Both teams completing, should I say, very high. I know Ian Watson has that high on his game plan. We've got to compete, we've got to complete high. And according to our stats, both teams above 90%. Nguama just taking some treatment from a heavy challenge.
Yeah,
it's hardly stopped, this game, has it? Hardly stopped. Just one mistake each from both sides, of course. We've had a try apiece. Is it a head clash? Nguama goes into contact, and yeah, Matty English, the polar bear.
Accidental clash of heads, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's a hard head to bump into.
Just making sure that Kevin Nguama is okay. Saint could ill afford to lose the Fijian after.
That would throw the cat amongst the pigeons in that back line, wouldn't it?
Yeah, after Tommy Makinson limping off after just 3 minutes of his comeback game with a recurrence of a foot injury. And much to ponder for Christian Wolf. It looks like Nguama is okay. And fit to continue. And there is the old warhorse in his 18th season at St Helens, ready at dummy half. I think Ian Watson will be absolutely delighted with what he's seen from his side so far. Some endeavour. They really have dug in. That's a great pass there. Nguama has to get the kick across the field. Who's going to be back chasing it? Josh Jones is behind his own try line as he lost possession. And as Lomax managed to
I hope they go back to the play the ball, Stuart.
Josh Jones made an error.
I hope they go back to the play the ball, because I felt certain that Alex Walmsley dropped that ball before he got up and played it.
Well, I think Josh Jones actually grounds the ball. If he doesn't go back to the play the ball, I think that he grounds the ball over the line. Everyone's onside. You can see Josh Jones is there. He's going. He's hoping to get a lucky bounce. It just pulls away from him, but he grounds the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, confirmed by Ben Thaler, the video ref, and by James Child, the on-field ref. And big sigh of relief from the former Saint Josh Jones here.
Well, again, just asking an awful lot of questions. The urgency from Theo Fies to pressure Josh Jones into grounding the ball behind his try line earns them another set of 6 now. And that patient rugby, the rugby IQ that we've seen from Saints over the years, just trying to make Huddersfield feel uncomfortable the back end of the half.
Gaskell it is, and
well taken.
Yeah, on the run, on the charge by
to see that.
Kevin Nguama. A lot of this Saints side who were hugely disappointed losing in the Challenge Cup final at Wembley a couple of years ago to the Warrington Wolves. That is a big motivator for the Saints to get back there again. They've got a repeat set there. Walmsley held up in the tackle, so 6 tackles 10 yards from the Giants line. What can they do? Here is Walmsley. Saints just turning up the heat on the Huddersfield Giants. Roby it is, and Farr quick play the ball. Batchelor charging towards the line. He's that close for St Helens. Roby finds Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook. He tries to go on his own. Again, desperate defending, but brilliant defending. O'Brien there, Lawrence there, right under the sticks.
Excellent work.
Yeah,
excellent work. Lee Gaskell, you've got to give him a lot of credit as well. He's gone into the tackle. He's hit LMS. He's hurt him. But what he does as well, he pulls Adam O'Brien up. He pulls Michael Lawrence up. And he's trying to direct his troops in defence. Normally as a fullback, you're standing behind the line and you're pointing at the gaps. You can see when he goes in LMS, he turns, and as soon as he turns around, you can see Gaskell spots the ribs exposed. He goes in, he's thinking, I'll have a bit of them, and he hurts the big front rower.
That was a cruncher from Gaskell.
There may also be a little bit of pride in there. I know he's had to just take some advice from the physio. Your pride wants you to get up like you're not hurt. It's like the boxer. When the boxer takes one, the first thing he does when he gets hurt is smile at his opponent. And that's a similar thing. He doesn't want to get his feet. He doesn't want to do it slowly. He wants to play it as quick as he can. And LMS, in the action of playing it, just loses his footing. And as we said, now he's going to have to take a little bit of treatment, take a minute and see if there is any damage.
Well, he's off, and Ignatius Parsi is on. Tongan Titan for the Saints to replace the workhorse Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook. 22 tackles from LMS in the opening 28 minutes.
Well, the fearless Parsi, the wrecking ball, the battering ram, he's on. You want to make sure you hit him in numbers, so they've got Walmsley, they've got Parsi.
With players like that, you do need to hit them, yes, but you need to secure the tackle because they're very likely to bounce off and keep going.
Caesar.
Oh, he just needed a support player then. Kenny Edwards, who looks like he's taking a knock. If Ricky Lutelli is a metre or 2 metres closer, it's a short offload, and Ricky Lutelli could well have broken the line there.
He's massive, I think, Kenny Edwards, for this side. He is one of those players, loves coming back against the grain. He goes down, you can see that.
Won the Cup, of course, with Catalan in 2018, Kenny Edwards, so he's one of the players that's got that big game experience.
Theo Fires tackles him, holds on to his right ankle, and when he goes down, he drops all his weight on his kneecap.
Well, I remember the Challenge Cup semi-final in 2018. You talked about Ignatius Parsi being a wrecking ball. Kenny Edwards absolutely destroyed Saints in that semi-final for Catalan at the Bolton Stadium. Interesting news, by the way, that we talked about Lee Gaskell's tackle here on Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook. Let's just have another look at this.
Yeah.
He goes in.
I think he's been put on report.
Report. The incident has gone on report. That's one for the disciplinary to have a look at on Monday, I'm sure. Still 10 minutes to go to half-time, and still the Huddersfield Giants leading by 6 points to 4. The try from Michael Lawrence, the goal from Aidan Caesar. Saints back into it with a touchdown, his 8th of the season from Regan Grace, but Lachlan Coote was wide with the kick. Here is Nagama for Saints, and certainly over the last 10 minutes they've had all the ball, haven't they?
Well, they seem to have, don't they? There's some good work and extra effort going in from Huddersfield. They're trying to hold them up, they're trying to hit as hard as they can and get those dual hits, but it's hard when the likes of Walmsley and Parsi are crashing onto the ball.
Last one, it is Farge again, and under pressure from English. Gets the ball down, it goes backwards, and it's pounced on there by Lutelli for the Huddersfield Giants. And the ball came loose, and McIntosh managed to just about get hold of it, so in Super League returns next weekend. Important game. We're back here at Headingley. Must win, you feel, for both the Leeds Rhinos and for Wakefield Trinity next Friday on Arena and then on YouTube. And the crowds are back in the Super League on Monday, May the 17th. And we will be at the Halliwell Jones for Warrington against Huddersfield. That's a week on Monday at 7. With the fans on Sky Sports Arena. And with the attack here is Gaskell for Huddersfield, but it went forward anyway. And Saints will get the ball back. Lomax is down, just, I think, holding his arm, Johnny Lomax.
Well, there's all kinds of things happening away from the ball, away from the action. I don't want to skirt over the fact that at last we've got a crowd, at last we're going to have an atmosphere at a rugby league ground. I can't tell you how pleased I am, but we're all in the same boat. We can't get out. We can't wait to get out and watch it live. Get the feedback from the fans on the sidelines, but for now, Johnny Lomax looks very uncomfortable, doesn't it?
Yeah, it looks like he's hurt his hand or his wrist. He's going to soldier on for now with 8 minutes to go to half-time, but that would be a big blow to lose their playmaker. Let's see what happens.
Oh, do you know what? I don't know whether it's one of those stingers. Ends up with a nerve reaction with a little bit of pins and needles down your arm. Either way, it looks like he's good to go.
Looked nasty. Looked like it was bent back, wasn't it, when he was attempting the tackle on Aidan Caesar. But on we go. Roby, Kyle Amor. That's a good run from Amor. Really good run. Take play into the Huddersfield half of the field. Saints looking to hit the front. They trailed from early on in the piece in this quarter-final of the Challenge Cup. Now here is Lomax. Coot, but nowhere to go. Second tackle again, and defensively Huddersfield have been exceptional. It was McQueen on this occasion. Walmsley. Oh, good tackle.
That's a great tackle. Just chopped him in half.
Luke Yates. It was. Lomax it is to Percival. Percival comes inside. Percival will ground the ball. Well, brilliant sense of play there from Mark Percival. He twisted and he turned and he cut inside and he scored the try, and St Helens go in front.
Well, a minute ago we were saying that Johnny Lomax was injured. I think he's just come up with his 8th try assist of the season. I think his preparation for games is second to none. You just have a look at that ball that he throws to Mark Percival. The strength that Mark Percival has got, I think he thinks that he's Alex Walmsley. Some of the times that I see him carry the ball, Percival, but that ball, that pass, that vision from Johnny Lomax was exceptional. And that's Saints. That's what Saints can do for you.
I recall watching a match where Huddersfield put a play on in the trade. We call it a tunnel ball. It goes in front of one player and behind another, and Saints have just put the self-same play on against Huddersfield Giants.
Yeah, Mark Percival, of course, a try scorer in the grand final. Missed the grand final last year, has been out for a long time with a really bad hamstring injury, which required major surgery. A fit Percival will be firing for St Helens for sure. Coote missed from this distance. The first try from Regan Grace. What can he do here? Well, no mistake this time. Right through the middle. And Saints extend their lead by 4. It's now 10 points to 6. But Mark Percival showing why Sean Wayne thinks he's one of the best centres in the Super League.
With the ball in 2 hands, Johnny Lomax has a number of options, but he has bodies in motion. All he needs to do is give Mark Percival half a chance. Ladies and gentlemen, he gets that ball down and gets Saints back in front, both on the scoreboard and I think mentally as well.
And that is the key for Saints, and it always has been. Every time you played and you prepared to play against Saints, you'd always talk about the numbers that they'd have, the bodies in motion, but it's having the player that can pick out the right player. And that Johnny Lomax, for me, is that player that's got that vision and leads them round.
But I'm going to go back to him, Tez, at the back of the play, the ball, the decisions he makes under fatigue, the skill set that he has, the accuracy of those passes, and he's got a will to compete, but more importantly than that, he's got a will to win, and I think that feeds off on everybody. He's always looking, always scanning, and making those decisions one after another after another.
And they're certainly getting on the front foot around the ruck, around the play, the ball, Saints, speeding it up as much as they possibly can, trying to tire Huddersfield out, keep them on the back foot. Last one, it goes back to Farge under pressure from Edwards. That's another good kick. McIntosh, though, takes it well. But again, Huddersfield right back at their own try line. Saints lead with 5 minutes to go to half-time by 10 points to 6. We mentioned Mark Percival played only 5 games last year. His season was ended at this stage in the quarter-finals of the Cup when they lost to Warrington, you may remember. But the injury was so severe. Jaquezie just turned down a little now. The hamstring actually came away from the bone. That's why he had to have major surgery. So it's always going to be difficult with an injury like that, I guess, to come back psychologically to make sure it's well.
Well, he's a tough thing, isn't he? And Saints, well, they give a penalty away here for a high shot on Matty English. So he's going down. It's just a right arm from Joel Thompson. He doesn't think that it's a penalty. Well, he's saying that, like a lot of players, when they suffer some serious injuries, it's what's between the ears, what they've got to keep on coming back with. A player that suffers injury after injury, they've got to go through the rehab. 9 times out of 10, it's on their own in the gym, getting ready and preparing the body to play.
It's a lonely journey, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
A lot of the time, coaches will make that injured player watch the training to make sure he's aware and understanding what's going on a day-to-day basis. So sometimes it's soul-destroying.
Well, some relief and some release here for the Giants. That's a really good take. The pass from Caesar was read superbly by Jermaine McGilvray. And what can Huddersfield do? It's been a while since the Giants have been in a position to attack the St Helens defensive line. Josh Jones and
big chance here, Stu. 6 again here. More tackles, and that's the 20-metre line that they're looking at, the Huddersfield Giants.
It was Aaron Smith, the young man who was penalised. Aaron Smith on, giving James Roby a little rest, but what a great chance this is. And O'Brien brings Caesar into it, quick pass, and that was a superb tackle from Percival on McQueen. But again, James Childs says it's 6 again, so this is a fantastic opportunity for Huddersfield as Lawrence is brought down in front of the post. All of a sudden, a penalty, 6 again, another 6 again, another set restart. And look where Huddersfield are here. What a time this could be to score just before half-time as Caesar pops the ball up for Josh Jones. It's been a while since Saints have found themselves defending their own try line. O'Brien swing it to the left for Caesar. Gaskell coming into the line. Good defense from Farge.
He wanted Kenny Edwards on the short ball then.
Another player that seemed to be in the wrong channel, didn't it?
English. It is the last. Can Saints survive? Can Huddersfield find some sparkle? And Brian goes on the short side. Caesar with a little kick forward, play on, and it bobbles out of the arms of Kyle Amor. Eventually, anywhere will do for the big prop. Just get the ball safe. But it's going to be another set for Huddersfield with the goal line dropout.
Well, probably the last set before half-time. And Kyle Amor taking no chances with that ball, just knocking it dead. What have they got here? The decision-making's got to be really good from Huddersfield.
Stay on these rocks.
Coop gets the kick away. Here's Matty English. Some good news for Saints. Lou McCarthy's Scarsbrook has passed his head assessment test, so we will see him again surely in the second half. What will the score be going into the second half? 10-6 here at Huddersfield with another set on the Saints line. Caesar just caught with the ball, couldn't offload it to the charging Kenny Edwards. O'Brien, he goes to the left-hand side. This is quick hands, this is McIntosh, and that's a fantastic try from Huddersfield, right on the the stroke of half-time. It's Huddersfield doing to Saints what Saints do to so many others, scoring right on the stroke of the break. We have a level game. That was brilliant hands, and that was a fantastic try from McIntosh.
Silky skills on the short side there from Huddersfield Giants. He's shaping, and all his body language is he's going to run open. Steps to the side. Kenny Edwards with beautiful hands, and what a sensational finish by the winger Darnell McIntosh. Ricky Lutella, you can see eyes facing forward, body facing forward. Oh, wow. How do you finish your try with no space to go? Well, just like that, that's how you finish it.
Well, you talk about your Tommy Makinsons, you talk about your Tom Johnstons with tries like that. Take a bow, Darnell McIntosh. Welcome to the club. What a score.
What are you in that club? Welcome to the club. Pure athletes, aren't they? The decision-making, I said it had to be absolutely perfect. The decision-making, the timing, the passing was crisp, and it just freed the space on the edge for Darnell McIntosh. Named in the England night squad, he's a phenomenal player, growing every year, isn't he?
Well, they've been on the back foot for 15 minutes, Huddersfield. They got a sniff of the Saints line, and they scored a try. Are they going to go in at half-time leading? Of course they are. Brilliant kick off the touchline from Aidan Caesar. And from being behind right on the stroke of half-time, this bit of magic and the Giants lead. What a try from Darnell McIntosh under extreme pressure. He went for the line, he went for the try, and no one was going to stop him. Ian Watson will be thrilled with the way that the Giants had hit back. They dominated early on, then they had to defend, then they found themselves behind, and now they find themselves in front. Terrific first half. The Giants lead the Saints in the Cup quarter-final by 12 points to 10.
Stuart, thank you very much. Stick to the process, as Ian Watson has implored his team to do just that. He's in conversation now with Luke Robinson, his assistant coach. He said it will come. Well, that's been a very good 40 minutes performance from Huddersfield. You said their game against St Helens in Super League was probably their best of the season. That half may have surpassed it.
Yeah, that's the best 40 minutes I've seen. I think Adam O'Brien out of dummy half has been exceptional. Some of the defensive work from Matty English has been really attritional. It's been a really tough, honest first 40 minutes.
Well, a tough and attritional game is what Christian Wolf said his side expected, and they got just that. Trailing at half-time, and that first 40 minutes has come at some cost. Tommy goes off with an injury 2 minutes into the game. Louis McCarthy scores, but follows not long after that, but he will come back out on the field. Johnny Lomax himself has been in the wars. We got first half analysis on the way. Betfred Challenge Cup action tonight, but dates for the diary. We've got some more Betfred Super League action for you. Leeds Wakefield next Friday, 7:30 p.m. Sky Sports Arena and on the Sky Sports YouTube channel. And then on Monday, fingers crossed, we will have crowds. Limited numbers, of course, but crowds back at the Halliwell Jones Stadium for the first time in a very long time, where the Huddersfield Giants are the visitors. 7 p.m. Sky Sports Arena, Monday, May 17th. Warrington have gone through to the Challenge Cup semi-finals with their victory over the Catalan Dragons. Huddersfield Giants are halfway there. St Helens trail for the first time at half-time this season, 12 points to 10 against the Huddersfield Giants. Darnell McIntosh with a spectacular finish in the corner on the final hooter has given Ian Watson's side that half-time lead. Said going into the break, it's the best Huddersfield have looked this season. It's been a St Helens side that have performed well, have performed as you would expect in a tough knockout game. So I suppose it emphasises just how good Huddersfield have been, that they've got a lead here at half-time. Yeah,
I think you can upgrade the performance from Huddersfield. You can give that a B+ certainly for them, because I think St Helens have not been below par. They've not been scratchy. I think they've been very, very good. What I would say is this second 40 minutes, they've scored 2 tries in the first 40. I feel like Huddersfield need to score twice again in this game, because I think there's another score at least in St Helens.
Keep your powder dry. Let's have a look at that first 40 minutes. Okay. Disruption for St Helens early on in the game as well. Tommy Makinson limping off early. Yeah, unwanted.
It was obviously a gamble with him coming back, and he was very, very frustrated, visibly frustrated on the sidelines. He lasted all of 3 minutes. He comes round to take a carry. Even before he comes into contact, he's limping. And he made an early exit from the game. that set the stage, I think, and gave the Giants a little bit of confidence. And from the first bit of play here, have a look at Ricky Leotelli making contact just here with Lachlan Coote, the fullback, takes him out of the play. That's spotted by Aidan Caesar, who's now calling the shots on this long side, takes the ball here, knows there's nothing in behind, knows there's no sweeper play from fullback, and Michael Lawrence opens the scores 6-0.
Timing's run beautifully as well, Lawrence.
Yeah,
held
listen,
back just enough.
You can do when they're pre-called like that, and you've got somebody inside who's smart. That comes off, as does this from Theo Farge. Gets a lucky bounce, but what about that for a pick-up and the step? It's instinctive at its best from Regan Grace.
16-0, they're 2 points down, but they look comfortable, John.
Yeah, they do, and Christian Wolff is, insistent on that game plan. You talk about Huddersfield Giants and the processes. This is St Helens. This is what Phil Clark was talking about before the game, and he's bang right as well. There's a 10-metre square box there between touchline and try line, and Lee Gaskell had to fight his way out of that corner a couple of times. Net result from that is you get into the end of your sets, you burn through your tackles, and Lachlan Coote and the two wingers are getting the ball back onto the 30-metre line. But
while they conceded, they didn't crumble.
No, they didn't, and I think that the defence was exceptional and really tough, and it took an uncompromising play from Percival there to take the lead just after the half-hour mark.
All right, OK, that's 10-6 to St Helens. We're going into the half-time break with St Helens lead. That's what we're thinking, and then this happens.
Right, just an outstanding piece of play. Top draw stuff. Have a look at this on the short side. Caesar plays the ball. O'Brien shows from Kenny Edwards. That's beautiful from Leotelli. And then what about this for a finish? Darnell McIntosh. He knows that Tommy Makinson, the winger who left the field early, gets all the plaudits for those sorts of finishes. Well, he wasn't going to be outdone. That's an outstanding finish. And a real nice full stop on what's been a really high-quality first 40 minutes. 12-10
to Huddersfield. Alex Walmsley's been on the field for nearly 40 minutes, so taking a lot of juice out of his tank. Louis McCarthy comes back on, but he's had a bit of a rough up. Johnny Lomax we've seen injured as well, and of course no Tommy Makinson. You think Huddersfield need to score twice to win this game? Why? I just think there's enough quality there. I think Lachlan Coote's had a fairly quiet first half, and that's not often you see that from him. He's normally really instrumental in what St Helens do in attack. I think Johnny Lomax, whenever the ball is anywhere near him, he's such a high quality player. There's always dangers, and I do feel the feeling I get is I think another 10 points from Huddersfield, they put themselves in with a great chance. Could I see that encounter with a Huddersfield side who were poor in victory over the Leeds Rhinos, but it was an important psychological victory for them, have rolled into this and added a brilliant performance to a first half lead scoreline? Yeah, so there's a very confident Huddersfield side to come out here in the second half. And we knew that. That was all the talk leading up to this game, was about how St Helens perhaps hadn't really hit the heights yet of 2020 and 2019, and Huddersfield had snapped that losing mentality with an excellent win against the Rhinos. And certainly they've carried this confidence. They've carried the confidence. You're right, into this game. St Helens have been incredibly difficult to score against in 2021. The Huddersfield Giants have got 2 first half tries. St Helens' attack hasn't been brilliant this season either. Or can they fix all this up at half-time? They trail by 2 points to the Huddersfield Giants. It's the Saints' quest to get back to Wembley and win for the first time since 2008. It's on the rocks at the moment. Second half on the way. Can Michael Maguire and the West Tigers pile more pressure on the underperforming Gold Coast Titans? Justin Holbrook's side have lost their last 3 matches. You can follow that one tomorrow on Sky Sports Arena and on Main Event. 8:25 a.m. is our NRL action. Well, Justin Holbrook's former side, St Helens, with whom he won a Super League Grand Final title but failed in his efforts to win a Challenge Cup. They trail by 2 points to Ian Watson's Huddersfield Giants at half-time. 12-10. Is the scoreline from Emerald Headingley Stadium in the second of our Betfred Challenge Cup quarterfinals this Friday evening. John Wells, you said Huddersfield need a couple more scores. Will they get that? Who'll win this? Who moves into the semi-final draw? Listen, on the evidence of the first 40 minutes, Huddersfield have got every chance, but they open against the best team in Super League, proven over the last couple of seasons. Which means? I have no idea. Right. I have no idea. I'm terrible at this, you know. That'll be clipped up and played out on social media. No doubt about that. Let's go to Terry O'Connor, Barry McDermott and Stuart Pike. He's got no clue. We know. Yeah. We're not only doing up to that. Yeah, we're all nodding our heads. But we are waiting for a referee, and here he is, James Child.
back on the field. 12 points to 10. Huddersfield will be delighted with what they have produced in that first 40 minutes. It'll be really interesting to hear from Jenna in a few moments' time what the two coaches have had to say. It was a real arm wrestle when Saints managed to beat the Giants a couple of weeks ago by 18 points to 10 in the Super League. But you can see game on game that this is a Huddersfield Giants side who are now getting into their stride in 2021.
Well, I was listening to Jermaine McGilvray early on in the week, and he was talking about what Ian Watson's brought to the side, saying he's brought resilience, and the players are really buying in to what he's been doing. It's not going to happen in week one. It's going to take weeks. It's going to take months before it gets in, and like he wants his side to just buy into everything he's doing. Defensively, they've been pretty strong, but you can see on the back of that just the line speed, just a bit too much from Kenny Edwards, and gives the penalty away, and the leg up that you can't give Saints.
I'm sure that's one of the things that Ian Watson would have said at half-time. Don't give them a lift up at the start of the second half. Well, the penalty has done just that. Fantastic try from the talented Darnell McIntosh on the stroke of half-time to give Huddersfield the lead, but that was not the English then.
I really like him.
Yeah, he was matching fire with fire. Saints now with Farge and Roby. What can they produce with Matautia? Sione Matautia goes on his own to the line. He was nearly over as well.
Backing off far too much for my liking then, Huddersfield. They had man on man. They didn't need to back off. They just needed to commit and go forward.
And he was very close. It was as if for a moment time stood still. They were waiting for Matautia to rush towards the line. Amor 10 yards away for Saints, right in front of the post. Again they go to the left. Lomax with a little step inside, tries to duck underneath the challenge of English. A la Rob Burrow there, Johnny Lomax. Now it is with Farge and Percival with the mistake, with the knock-on, and Mark Percival. Is that a critical error? We shall find out. But under pressure he was from Chris McQueen, who forced the mistake, and the Giants survive.
On two occasions, Huddersfield Giants have done enough to deny St Helens, who will be motivated. Of course they will. They'll look at, I'm sure, building pressure. They haven't built any pressure in that first half. That's a key factor of any Saints successful side. And for Huddersfield Giants, if they keep turning up, keep showing that spirit that they've shown, then they'll stay in the game and they'll keep it tight on the scoreboard, and then who knows?
And the belief is certainly there after losing their opening 4 Super League games. They had that comfortable win over the Leeds Centurions in the last 16 of the Challenge Cup. Vital win over the Leeds Rhinos to get off the mark in Super League in a dramatic game which went right to the last second last Sunday. Now it's the last tackle. Gaskell with a good, fierce, strong, long kick away, taken by Regan Grace. 12-10, Huddersfield lead as they try to cause a big Challenge Cup upset in the quarter-finals here at Headingley.
And that defensive line really intact on the back of a long kick, a high kick from Lee Gaskell. And he just needs a lot of hang time, distance on it for his defensive line to get up the field. Some real strong, committed defence from the likes of Yates and English in this game.
It was Coote, wasn't it, going from dummy half there, the Saints fullback. Here is Kyle Amor. Up to halfway he goes. Aaron Smith. Now Parsi. It's a good offload, taken well by Smith. Now here is Coote again. Saints a little bit more adventurous, you have to say, at the start of this second half, but that was McQueen again with a really good defensive move on Matautia. Coote under pressure does get the ball away, but he's been pretty strong tonight, Lee Gaskell, under that high ball, and he is again, but that I think was stolen one-on-one in the tackle, and it was Mark Percival with the play. He made an error in that corner 2 minutes ago. And now Huddersfield have been caught offside, but that was a brilliant play from Percival.
I'm sure Saints will take 2 points here. You can see some of the players just gesturing towards the sideline, hoping for that cone to come out. But what strength from Mark Percival. He steals the ball, and then from that possession, is it Regan Grace who takes it in? And Huddersfield Giants just not back on side, and they'll take the 2-on offer, or they'll look to take the 2-on offer.
The right decision, the 2 points.
Yeah, most definitely. You can calm down, you can take the direction from the senior players, the players around you. It locks it up at 12 apiece. I think Lachlan Coote and that man, Christian Wolf, know that every time they go on the field, everyone wants to beat them. They are the champions of Super League. They want to get to the Challenge Cup final, lift silverware there.
Yeah, it's the target on the back of the champions in any sport. Coote then to make it 12-12 in this absorbing Challenge Cup quarter-final. And there it is. We have a level game again in the early stages of the second half. 46 minutes gone. We're all square at 12 apiece.
Well, we complimented them on 2 occasions. They did enough to deny St Helens, but they've got to defend tough, but also defend smart. You can't always get off your line. You need to look and make sure you're onside, and don't hand an opportunity over to a dangerous side like St Helens.
The Saints have certainly started the second half with a lot more purpose than they did the first. Amor met with force by Michael Lawrence. Here is Matautia, tries to play the quick play the ball, and passy it is for St Helens. Aaron Smith finds Thompson up to halfway for Saints. Huddersfield certainly on the back foot at the start of this second half. Farge now inside for the Tongan Titan, as he's known in St Helens, the former New Zealand warrior, on the last, and it's Farge again. This time he arrows the kick towards Darnell McIntosh, but again takes it soundly and safely. But is he going to get pushed back behind his own try line? Well, that was a terrific
building pressure.
St Helens chase.
That's building pressure.
Yeah, that's just solid defence. Just look at the effort. Darnell McIntosh, he's a very strong player. But look at the extra effort from young Jack Wellesby in particular. He denies him. He won't let him go down on the ground. And Lachlan Coote, well, he's picked up an injury to his elbow. I think does he hyperextend it when he goes in? He drags him over the line.
Is it my imagination, but most sets of 6, there's a player in a white shirt that doesn't get up at the same speed. You can see, he's in an awkward position, trapped in by Wellesby.
Well, a crucial period of this game, without a shadow of a doubt.
Tackles like that, they win you games.
A great kick out from Gaskell, just about taken cleanly, but was in the end by Kevin Nagala. But all the pressure coming from St Helens at the start of this second half. Amor making more useful yards. Aaron Smith this time comes to the right-hand side, but then Amor penalised in the play the ball.
He dives forward and he takes out the marker.
Not playing it properly and taking the defender out.
He took out the defender. You see when he gets up here, always makes decent meters after contact, Kyle Amor. But you can see when he stands up, he pushes forward, he takes down Matty English, knocks him to the ground. He's bewildered. Kyle Amor, you've got to be squeaky clean, especially when you've got the ball. Don't give a penalty away when you're in possession.
That's a poor penalty to give away when you've had so much of the ball at the start of the second half, and we know that the referees are trying to clean up the ball and clean up incidents like that. It was the right decision from James Child. Coming up for 10 minutes gone then in the second half, and it's been thrilling. It's 12 apiece, and let's find out what was said at half-time.
Yeah, thanks, Stuart. Very much. Christian Wolf said that his side have done it tough with injuries, obviously referencing Tommy Makinson, who came off. He's out for the rest of the game. LMS came off for an HIA, which he's passed and will be coming back on. But he said that it's a good challenge and his side are up for it. Ian Watson said that if they can keep their composure, his team will win this quarter-final match.
And that's the key. Absolutely, Jenna, that's the key. That's what the boys have been talking about. Keep your cool, keep your composure. That's a really good kick. It's taken by Grace and then by McQueen.
McQueen's got that.
I was just going to say he's doing a decent job trying to strip that ball from Regan Grace. There's definitely some fight in this Huddersfield side.
Do you know the other person who could have a bearing on this match? The referee, James Child. So, depending on which side of the line, when you've got a 50-50 call, depending on which side it goes, well, there you go. There you go. And the players are putting themselves in that position.
Luke Yates was in there. Josh Jones was in there.
Owen Trout comes up with the ball.
Was in there, yeah. Owen Trout coming into the 17 after James Gabbett dropped out today for family reasons. We hope everything's okay for him. It meant that Michael Lawrence came into the starting lineup, and it's back-to-back penalties against the Huddersfield Giants, and Josh Jones the guilty man. But it's what Ian Watson said: composure, composure, composure. And they've given away like 4 penalties now in this second half.
The second part is discipline, isn't it? Making sure that you don't give easy meters, easy possession away. They've gone from an attacking kick where I thought Chris McQueen was unlucky not to get the ball. Now they're virtually defending their own try line.
Big moments again for the Huddersfield Giants, who've been up against it in the 10 or 11 minutes we've had so far in this second half. Pegged back by the penalty from Lachlan Coote. 12 all. It's Matautia who will play it. And Aaron Smith, who's missed the last 4 for Saints at dummy half. Parsley tries to wriggle out to the tackle. A lot of power, a lot of strength, but Trout's in there, Yates is in there. Yates has already made 47 tackles in this game so far at Luke Yates. Farge misses out one. Lomax, but he couldn't get the ball out. It would have been a strolling Forcione Matautia if Lomax could have got that out. He couldn't. And Saints charging towards the line again. Superb defence by Huddersfield. Lomax just delayed it a split second too much. Farge, they come to the right-hand side. Lomax again. Coote looks for Jack Wellesby on the last, but it's just superb so far from Huddersfield. Really up against it defensively in this second half, and now Wellesby has picked up a knock for the Saints.
Straight away when he come on that crash ball, then he let out a scream. And you could see the Huddersfield defenders just turn round to the referee and say, look, we've got a bit of a problem here. He goes hard, cuts back. Does he get his ankle caught underneath? Yeah, there he does.
Oh, wow. Well, I'll tell you what, take a bow, Chris McQueen, on that right side for Huddersfield Giants. Got up and took all the options away from Johnny Lomax.
He saved a certain try.
Absolutely. It was a simple catch and pass until Johnny Lomax had the shadow of Chris McQueen in his face.
The Saints are running it on the last, and the ball goes out to Regan Grace. Grace cuts inside. Grace goes for the line. And Grace, has he got the ball down?
What a finish.
What a score from Regan Grace. Well, no wonder they call him Amazing Grace. He's done it again. His second try of the night. His 9th try of the season. And Saints are ahead again.
Well, so hard to defend against, aren't they? When they've got so many players and so many options, you can see that Theo Farge, he shapes to kick, but that ball from Lachlan Coote, to give that man the ball, look at the balance, the footwork, the evasive skills that he's got when he goes at the line. But it's the clinical passing from dummy half, then from Theo Farge to Johnny Lomax, who just suck in those defenders. And then when the ball goes out to that man, he's just got to, it's a one-on-one, use his footwork, takes Gaskell over the line, and that's Saints at the best, in the right area of the field.
He's turned into an animal, hasn't it? Regan Grace is a predator. Whenever that ball is 10 metres near the line, he's got half a chance. I'm saying 10 metres. He can do it from 10 metres away from his own line.
Tell you what, that's a brilliant description. The predator. And he was, and he has been, and he's scored 2 as St Helens lead. Huddersfield just couldn't hang on. Coote, we're about 8 yards in from touch on that left-hand side. That is a beauty. And Saints trail by 12 points to 10 at half-time. They now lead by 18 points to 12.
We love a comparison, don't we, in rugby league? And he's been compared to Martin Offiah on a number of occasions. But what Martin had, when he had the ball in his hand, the only thing he wanted to do, the only satisfaction he got in a game was scoring a try. And I'm seeing more and more from that player in this green, Regan Grace.
Well, no wonder Saints were keen to tie him down to a new deal, and that announcement this week that he's staying for at least one more year, and with an option for more, I'm sure. Gaskell kicks off, and Huddersfield have been right up against it in this second half, and we're going to see what they're made of, I guess, over the next 25 minutes.
Well, that's it. There's no tomorrow in quarter-final play. Knockout rugby, you've got to make sure that you perform to the 80th minute, and Huddersfield know, and I'm sure Ian Watson would have told them, look, you've got to expect the unexpected, and Kyle Lamb goes for the offload.
He knows it as well, doesn't he? That's a poor decision.
He'll look at that and you think, why did he do that?
That's a poor decision from a very experienced player. He can see Roby in support. He thinks he can get the ball.
It's instinct, isn't it?
Yeah.
Instinct. But he's made two mistakes.
That's it. And the second one comes from his desire to make up from the first one.
Well, this is an unexpected chance here for the Huddersfield Giants. Owen Trout. His previous appearance this year came in the Challenge Cup against Lee. Luke Yates barges off Amor. Amor comes back for more, eventually brings him down. But again, penalised Kyle Amor for hanging on too long in the tackle. And this is what happened at the end of the first half, wasn't it? Huddersfield got a lift on with a penalty, then a couple of set restarts. And after Saints controlling this second half for 15 minutes, what an opportunity this is for Huddersfield to hit straight back. Here is Caesar now. Kenny Edwards wrapped up by Thompson and by Wellesby, trying to play the ball with Gaskell. Ball goes inside. Yates it is. The workhorse, Luke Yates. Short side, Caesar looks to go on his own. On the last now. What a big play this is for the Huddersfield Giants. Little kick through there, and there's just too much on it from Adam O'Brien, and Saints survive. Kyle Amor will be a very relieved man after that mistake, and the Garber will bring it away for St Helens.
Brilliant work from St Helens. The minute that Aidan Caesar has that ball in two hands, notorious for that left foot step, everybody is on red alert. And the kick that goes in and drifts over that back line is because Aidan Caesar gets tackled with the ball.
Really enjoying this. Cracking cups on.
Quality game, isn't it?
The game or being with us, Stu?
The jury's out.
You took too long to answer that. I know the answer.
No, always a pleasure. It really is.
No, it's too late now.
Here is Lomax, Matautia, and Saints now trying to get back on a roll. 6 points to the good. St Helens at the moment. Another try here, and Huddersfield will be in real trouble. Coop with a crossfield kick. In goes Farge, and it was Caesar. Wow, he had to be very, very quick and very, very alert there for that switch play for Lachlan Coop.
What a terrific kick from a super intelligent player, but again, building pressure. At the very least, they end up tackling the Huddersfield player behind the line. Farge is in the face of Caesar, but because Caesar kicks it over the back line, there'll be a goal line dropout.
There's a problem here with Matt English. He was on the blind side, and Caesar goes down the short side. He spots that the prop is isolated on the short side. He goes at him. I think he's a quality player.
I think he's been one of Huddersfield's. He's been one of Huddersfield's best in this game, but he's like that most weeks.
I'll tell you what, Sean Wayne, the England coach, thinks so as well, because he's called Matty English into his squad, hasn't he?
Stuart, he's super consistent. Yeah. He's not the biggest, but in what you'd say in the game is that he's a real goer. Look at him going into Alex Walmsley.
Well, he couldn't play for anybody else, could he? He couldn't get a game for Wales, Scotland or Ireland with that surname.
Roby is back in business for St Helens. So is Alex Walmsley. The big guns back on. The Saints going for the big play. Approaching the hour mark. Still a 6-point ball game. Walmsley again in the thick of the action. Interesting that both Aaron Smith and James Roby are on the field for Saints. Farge, inside it goes. But no joy for Lachlan Coote. Roby. Lomax now. Lomax with a switch play, and Wellesby tries to get it out to the Garma, but it was Darnell McIntosh there who was putting the pressure on. Really good play from the winger. Forced the mistake, and Huddersfield survive again.
He wedges in, doesn't he? He gets the timing right. Puts an awful lot of pressure on Jack Wellesby, who receives this ball from Johnny Lomax, but he's slipping. He can see the space, but he can't get the right pass away.
What about the pass from James Roby? He amazes me, James Roby. Obviously, he's a tradesman at number 9. That's what he does. Dummy half passing on that occasion. We think he might be playing at 13. He gives a beautiful left to right pass right on the money.
Well, we're unanimous that Roby plays on in 2022. I'm sure Saints will be talking to Roby very soon if they aren't already. What a season he's had. James Roby, 35 years of age.
He's had 18 good seasons, though, hasn't he?
20 minutes to go in this Challenge Cup quarter-final. Here's Caesar now as Huddersfield try to spread it wide to this left-hand side.
Again, ball in 2 hands, Stuart. Left foot step, and Saints were alert to it.
It's Cogger who gets the kick away. Taken well by Regan Grace. You see the referee there, James Child, just warning Joe Greenwood that he was offside. West Tigers against Gold Coast. We're back with the NRL on Saturday morning on Arena and main events at 8:25. I'm looking forward to the Women's Challenge Cup highlights. Monday at 8:45, the normal slot on Arena and Mix for York against Wigan. And then John Duffy with the coaching manual with Brian Carney, the lead coach, in the hot seat at 8:30 on Sky Sports Arena on Wednesday night. The Saints have got a repeat set. There was a Huddersfield hand in the play the ball there. Matautia does well to hang on to that. And Greenwood was trying to steal it one-on-one in the tackle. 19 minutes to go. Still just one score between the sides. The second half dominated by Saints, but they've only managed to turn all that pressure into 8 points so far. Lomax finds Thompson.
He disguises plays so well, Johnny Lomax. He shifts from one side of the field to the other. Really hard to number up in defence.
Amor does well. Which way will Saints go? Smith it is at dummy half. And Farge will try the drop goal, but it's charged down and it's 6 again. Well, that was interesting, that from Saints. With still 19 minutes to go. They were looking to put daylight between them and the Giants.
Just a bit of control, wasn't it? Generalship.
Well, they've got another set here after the charge down. Instead of 1 point, they're going to get 4. Walmsley gets the ball out, picked up by Sione Matautia. On that left edge, Saints attack. Matautia, the former Newcastle Knight, superb run to within a couple of yards of the Huddersfield try line. 18-12. St Helens in front. Farge just about manages to grasp the ball at the second opportunity, Theo Farge, but there's nowhere to go except he runs into the giant figure of the Giants captain, Michael Lawrence. Lomax once more. Now Kyle Amor. So far the goal line defence from Huddersfield has been 9 out of 10. And he will try again here at Theo Farge, and this time it does go over. And it's all about game control. Huddersfield have got to now score twice, 19 points to 12.
And you knew that was going to come sooner or later. If he set up for it a minute ago and it didn't come off, he was going to go for it again. The same sort of game plan, the same game management from Theo Farge, knowing that it takes the game just 2 scores away. And Christian Wolff now sending down the message what sort of reaction he's going to expect from this Huddersfield side in the final 18 minutes. And Gaskell, will he go for depth on this kick?
So it's now a 2-score ball game in favour of St Helens. Huddersfield have got to get their hands on the ball, haven't they? That's been the big difference in this second half.
Yeah, and let's not forget that Huddersfield Giants played on Sunday, so less recovery time for the Giants. They're behind on the scoreboard, haven't hardly touched the ball in the last 10 minutes because of Saints' attitude to build pressure, get down this end and make Huddersfield come away from their own line.
Quick play the ball. Amor, the ready worker from the pass from James Roby. But he is, he's just like a classy, classical orchestra conductor, isn't he, James Roby? Last one again. Roby plays it for Coote. Just a good kick from Coote. Back it goes from Nagama. Still on the bounce there for Lachlan Coote. And was that played out? The referee will say that there's a penalty in back play for a late challenge.
Yeah, and the referee had communicated that to the people around him. So if St Helens weren't at an advantage when they regathered this ball, as it plays on the arm, he pulls it back for the late challenge on Lachlan Coote. Left-footed kicker on the wrong side of the field. Is it Kenny Edwards? Yeah,
it was Kenny Edwards.
Kenny Edwards.
And we talked about the things that the referees are clamping down on. That is one of them.
Yeah,
quite rightly.
Ian Watson telling Jenna Brooks just after half-time about Huddersfield keeping their composure. Is that going to be a costly mistake from Kenny Edwards? 15 minutes to go, Saints leading by 7. Roby again, and Farge is in there. Lomax manages to get out of the tackle. Great pass out there, and Percival goes without the ball, but did it come off a Huddersfield hand? As Lachlan Coote put the ball down. Now then, James Child will send it upstairs. Saying no try, saying that Mark Percival went without the ball.
I think it's going to go up here. I think he thinks that it's a loose carry from Mark Percival.
He's got hold of it.
In the act of scoring a try, have a little look here. Well, Jermaine McGilvray is the man who goes in. Does he make a genuine attempt to strip the ball? Well, Percival loses it.
That's stripped, Ted.
Did that then come off the hand of the Huddersfield winger?
Let's have another look at it here. This might tell us a different story. I don't even know whether Jermaine McGilvray touches that ball first and knocks it forward, you know.
I think he's lost that ball.
Well, I disagree. I see what the referee's looking at. The video ref, Ben Thaler, agrees with him, but, well, there you go.
All about opinions.
And mine is irrelevant. The ball blown with the whistles is the only one that matters. But I don't know whether Jermaine McGilvray touches that ball.
Well, I think there is a little flick on it, but I think for me,
that's a knock-on.
For me, I thought it was a loose carry. And that call and that play by Jermaine McGilvray just keeps Huddersfield in this game.
Massively. But can they do something with the ball now?
Well, what they've got to do now, they've got to get through this set. They've got to get a lot of distance on the kick.
Well, they've got the leg up from James Child. They've got the penalty. Saints offside.
Now, how many times do we see this? The effort to get off the line, the first 3 steps, relieves all that pressure and gives Huddersfield that field position that they are craving.
So now, I want to see Gaskell, I want to see Caesar. The last 5 minutes have been about Lomax and Farge. It's time for the Giants halfbacks to step forward.
Well, they've got a penalty and now they've got a set restart. From being within inches of conceding what surely would have been a match-winning try for the Saints. Look where Huddersfield are now, inside the Saints 20 with Owen Trout. Here it comes with Cogger with a short pass.
He needs to get involved as well.
Greenwood running onto the ball, Joe Greenwood. Cunningham is back on. Michael Lawrence, who scored the first try in the early stages of this cup tie. Cunningham again, to the right it goes with Caesar. Is the space out there for Gaskell? Terrific tackle from Lomax. It had to be. McQueen quickly at the play the ball. Caesar goes towards Nagama. Play on, says the referee. Play on, and the ball will come here to McIntosh, who will score for the Huddersfield Giants. He's not going to go upstairs to Robert Hicks. He's going to give the try. And McIntosh, 2 minutes ago, Percival was inches away from a possible winning try for Saints. And now Darnell McIntosh with a try, and the Giants are back in it.
And who does it come from? Aidan Caesar. Left foot, left boot, puts it into the vicinity of a cluster of players. And Niguama, who's been virtually flawless all evening, jumps high, can't secure the ball, and then when it lands in the path of Greenwood, he composes himself, gets himself set, and provides the pass to Darnell McIntosh.
Well, that was the last play from Aidan Caesar in that set of 6, and didn't he drop it in the correct place? And Darnell McIntosh did well to score that. Wow, we've got a game on now, lads.
It's a game of inches, isn't it? It really is. Mark Percival, we thought, was going to score the try for St Helens. He didn't. McGilvray with the challenge. And then McIntosh, 2 minutes later, a rare foray from Huddersfield into St Helens territory. He's been perfect with the boots so far, Aidan Caesar. Oh, brilliant. Majestic from Caesar. And it's a 1-point game. It's 19-18, and what a 12 minutes we're going to have. Luke Yates has been incredible. 53 tackles from Luke Yates. No wonder he is having a rest. But
gives him so much, doesn't he, in the middle of the field? His go forward, his defence.
He does that every week.
Yeah, top quality. You know what you're going to get from him. He turns up for those poor carries that maybe other players don't really want to take. He'll put his body on the line in front of the likes of Walmsley and Parsi.
Well, we have got a fantastic finish now. Huddersfield, for long periods in this second half, have been up against pressure, real back-to-the-wall stuff, but now that the way that they have come good under Ian Watson.
And you don't want that. If it's a loose offload like that, it's not going to go to a man. You just keep hold of it, get down on the ground, play it really quickly.
Saints haven't been pushed like this, you know, since Leeds in the last round. It's been a real challenge. It's close on the scoreboard. I've no doubt when we look back and we look about the stats, the facts, the figures, Saints will be on top in most of them, but that resilience that Ian Watson is trying to breed in his side is here in full flow.
Well, I just wonder, you know, whether in the last 10 minutes the key will be, for both sides, the key will be discipline.
It might be a discipline, it might be a lack of discipline that gives a penalty away to Huddersfield, a drop goal, and then we're on locked up extra time.
And that's where you've got to work with the referee. The referee's shouting, you're offside, you're offside, stay out of it. And now, compounding with that, they give a penalty away for back-chatting. Look at them all, they're all stood in front of the referee. The referee, James Child, is telling him, give him 10, give him 10.
My question is, why is he so far back if he's kicking? There's no communication there. Nobody knows that it's him that's kicking, otherwise they'd be behind him.
Well, we talked about the discipline, didn't we? And straight away, a double penalty. First for offside, then for the back chat. Now Saints with 9.5 minutes to go, with a chance to put some more points on the board, but they found it very, very difficult to do that against this impressive Giants defence. Farge now, and Coote comes into the line. Good tackle from Jack Cogger, the young Aussie resurrecting his career in Super League. Walmsley only knows one way forward, trying to push off the challenge of James Cunningham. Parsi now, right in front of the post. 1, 2, 3, 4 Huddersfield defenders stopping him right on at the goalpost. Roby now, and Coote. Does the ball go backwards? It doesn't make any difference, but again, the pressure was immense.
Well, Huddersfield spotted where that ball was going. They spotted Lachlan Coote and Johnny Lomax lining up on the same side. That ball was always going to go right. So they had to make sure that they numbered up, they got off the line, and they forced the error.
Okay, let's go.
Real Challenge Cup nail-biter. High tackle, discipline again.
And I was just about to say again, Saints have them. They've turned the ball over, but you want to defend up this end of the field. You don't want to give penalties away. And Kyle Amo, he'll look back and that'll be frustrated.
It's so difficult, isn't it? He's accelerating because he thinks Darnell McIntosh is going to run away. Then he steps into him and his arms are too high, the contact is too high. And they've got the gander up now, Huddersfield, haven't they?
So speaketh a prop forward.
Yeah.
The winger just a little bit too quick for the prop forward on that occasion. 8 minutes to go. Really fantastic cup tie. And Huddersfield, make no mistake, they still fancy this. If they get into any sort of position, they'll have a go to level this up. Saints trying to pin Gaskell back. Still 2 tackles left in this set. It's Kenny Edwards at dummy half. Here is Caesar, again been influential. Cogger now, but Lomax was quick to wrap him up. Last one, there'll be no drop goal attempt from the Giants on this occasion. The Caesar goes high, 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 and that's a really good kick. That's a brilliant take, because that ball was swirling around in the night air. And of course, we'll be back here at Headingley for the return of the Betfred Super League next Friday. Leeds against Wakefield, both desperate for the points on Arena and live on YouTube as well. And then the crowds are back on Monday the 17th of May. 4 matches in Super League. We will be at the Halliwell Jones for Warrington against Huddersfield, 7 o'clock a week on Monday on Sky Sports Arena.
Oh, that's a shame. Aidan Caesar, who's been one of the best in a Giant shirt, gives 6 again away for his side under more pressure defensively now.
Passing it is. 6.5 minutes. The clock is ticking. Can Saints find a way through? Matautia on that left edge. Saints attack. Roby it is now. And Lomax back in for Parsi. A good tackle from Greenwood and from Trout. Doubling up to bring the big man down. Lomax with a little sidestep. He tries to go for the line. Trout reads it, Cunningham reads it, Lawrence reads it right in front of the post. Was that played at? Well, it may well have been, but I think that's going to be another set for the Saints. It is. Came off Gaskell, and here is Wellsby as the pressure intensifies on the Huddersfield line.
And again, they've got to make sure they communicate here. They're under some pressure, aren't they, from Saints?
Roby. And a performance from James Roby again tonight for St Helens. Amor. Saints just trying to apply the pressure. Amor with the set-up run right in front of those posts again. Roby, they go to Farge. Farge misses one out. Long pass out for Grace. Grace goes for the hat-trick, and Regan Grace will get the try. Superb score from the Welsh wizard. A hat-trick for Regan Grace, and is that the try that takes St Helens into the Challenge Cup semi-finals?
They are so focused. They're an accomplished side, aren't they? You can see they get 6 again. Lee Gaskell makes a play for that. The referee says another set of 6, more pressure for Huddersfield. Roby, Theo Farge, Lomax, that again, the vision from Johnny Lomax to find the winger who just comes in, and you can see when Regan Grace gets this ball, he just comes in, then away, just to hold up Cogger, who's trying to force him off the field. What a quality game this has been, though. You know what? I think even whether they get this goal or not, Lachlan Coote, the next time that they get hold of the ball, they're going to have to go short here, Huddersfield, aren't they? Running out of time.
Well, a third hat-trick for Regan Grace. But this is the big kick. This is the critical kick. 23-18, 5 points in Helens' advantage. This kick off the touchline from Lachlan Coote may just do it. Big moment. And he's hooked it. So Huddersfield still very much in this. 3 minutes to go.
What a superstar this player is. 3 tries for Regan Grace, all different, all had to work for them. On that occasion he had to be brave with players around him. 2 hands on the ball. This was an in and out footwork, and again with players around him he manages to get the ball down. And even though there's pressure coming from a Huddersfield player, I think it's Lee Gaskell, courage, bravery, and Stuart, it's my privilege to pick the man of the match in this game, and it would have been easy to pick Regan Grace. Special mentions for some of the grafters. That man in the number 9 has worked harder and tirelessly as he does every single week.
Let's not forget this game's not over. First half, who scored right on the hooter? Darnell McIntosh. All the Huddersfield fans a bit home saying, come on lads, pull it out the bag for us.
Yeah, absolutely, because we know that Caesar can kick them from anywhere, as he has done tonight. But they're going to get at least one more set, the Huddersfield Giants. 5 points in it, 3 minutes to go. There's the kick. Gaskell comes across under pressure.
Wow,
foot on touch. What a kick that was.
That kick was absolutely exceptional. You know, he knows exactly where he wants to land this ball, Theo Fars. He wants to feel Gaskell, he wants to make Gaskell feel under enormous pressure. He had to make a play for that. He couldn't let the ball bounce. He had to take it. As soon as he takes it, he's manhandled.
When we talk about match-winning kicks, we normally mean kicks between the posts.
Yeah.
That might be a match-winning kick from Theo Fars.
I said right at the beginning of this game, St Helens have got players with big game experience. They know what to do, and more importantly, they know what not to do. And Huddersfield, the penalties, the lack of discipline, well, it may well have cost them this match.
Here's passing with a charge towards the line for Saints. 2 minutes to go. 2 minutes between St Helens and a Challenge Cup semi-final. Roby with a little dummy. Read well there by Greenwood and by Lawrence, who's put in a fantastic shift, the Huddersfield captain for his side tonight. Now Walmsley forced to turn, forced to swivel Alex Walmsley, and then just business as usual as he charges forward.
I thought he was running back to Dewsbury.
Yeah. The pirouetting prop Walmsley. Here is Amor. Right in front of the post. Last one now. Can Saints put this cup quarter-final to bed? Lomax, Fars with a little kick through, and it's grounded behind his own line. There was Johnny Lomax hit late in back play.
Obstruction is the call
obstruction
from the referee.
against Saints.
Yeah, there was a collision between Cogger and Matautia. They both end up on the floor. And Cogger, well, he gets the benefit of the doubt.
So, here's the drama. Here is the drama. 50 seconds for Huddersfield to go the length and get a converted try. Are we going to see an amazing finish? Gaskell with a huge pass here for Darnell McIntosh. 2 tries already for McIntosh, the Huddersfield winger in this game. But the clock is ticking.
That was difficult for the winger. Then the ball over the top was a slow one because they had to get that hang time.
Back it goes for Lawrence. Now a little chip over for Caesar. And it's back into the arms of Lachlan Coote, and that could just about be that for Christian Wolf and his St Helens side. What will the referee say here? Coote ran it out of play, but it's going to be too little, it's going to be too late, and it's St Helens who celebrate. Huddersfield have given it their absolute everything. But he is the hat-trick hero, Regan Grace. His tries have taken Saints into the Challenge Cup semi-finals after a classic cup tie here at Headingley. Ian Watson knows his side came very, very close. They put in a momentous shift, but it's Saints who maintain their unbeaten start to the season. For the second time in 2 weeks, Huddersfield have run the Super League champions very, very close. But for the second time in 2 weeks, it's St Helens who emerge the victors. Saints win by 23 points to 18. They're in to the Cup semi-finals.
Thank you, Terry, Barry and Stuart. A pulsating end to this quarter-final game from the 2021 Betfred Challenge Cup here at Emerald Headingley, the second of our 2 games here this evening. Well, the wait for the Huddersfield Giants will extend into a 69th year since they last lifted a Challenge Cup trophy. St Helens, 2008, they're on course to right that particular wrong. Gentlemen, thoroughly entertaining, tells us so much about both sides, and I think both sides come out of this game with great credit, John. Yeah,
really gritty, hard-fought victory for Christian Wolff and his men. But I think also a defeat which will sting tonight for the Huddersfield Giants, and their cup run ends. But something that they can package up and take into their league next week after a decent win against Leeds. So, look, there is something, in a bizarre way, there's something for Huddersfield to take out of this as well.